Sit back down.
We're back.
We're back.
Woohoo!
It's been 3 seconds.
Lots have changed, right?
Yep.
So, in 61 through 64, they're going to Highburn. Wow! Finally. I think they have a conversation beforehand. Oh yeah, they have a conversation because they're back from the fight in the sack on Valeris.
Oh, you know what? Azra had a really good one-liner, that one.
He did?
Yeah, he had a good, cool one-liner. They're like, eat, rest, and then, I don't know, we get revenge
I don't
or something like that. It was a cool one-liner.
I'm happy for him.
We definitely missed it. We were kind of zoning in and out on the audible.
Yeah. What was that guy's name that did the audiobook?
Free Wada.
Free Wada with an exclamation point. Love you, dude. Thank you for reading this for us.
You were very helpful.
We love you. Love you, Pookie.
Your Cassian voice needs some work, but it was enjoyable nonetheless.
Yes, truly. So they have a little conversation in the townhouse where they're like, who stays here and defends Valeris? And like, Amber's literally sitting there like, on Asriel. And Asriel's like,
oh, yeah.
It's so funny because Asriel's just like,
everyone's like just sitting there like half dead, and they're like, "Yeah, that was rough." Guys.
I think it's so funny because Amber's just like, and then Azra's like
worried. He's like,
he keeps like looking down every so often, but he's like,
especially because he's the one that's like suspicious
of
Amryn, and so it's funny.
She's just like, yeah,
she does not give a fuck.
And
he's like, oh my god, death is sitting on my shoulder.
It's also just so funny because, you know, like, she obviously like was like extremely hurt, but so was he, and so it's just really, can you imagine if like after like you've had like a long shift and then I come on, I'm like, I've had a really long shift, and we both have long shifts, and I'm like, Ilana's like, the fuck? Why the fuck are you
What you doing?
Why do I have to take care of you? I had a long shift too.
And then they're like, who can defend Valeris on their own? And Amryn's like, it's only me. I'm the only one who's going to be able to defend this place. Because like during the little battle, she was giving all of the like people, the fairy dudes, nightmares. She was like, you're drowning in the Sidra. You're on fire. And they were just killing themselves from panic.
I would really love to know what Moore's powers are.
Don't we all?
because the last 10 chapters, I kept thinking to myself, I was like, reset, that if anything ever happened to any of them, Moore would be the last person standing, which means that she's an overpowered person. So the entire 10 chapters, I was like, what is this bitch's purpose?
No, for real. You'll see in the last four chapters, she does something, and you're like,
wow.
You're like, okay,
go girl.
But we're not there yet. Continue. I'm sorry, just thought about it again because this chapter was also a fight scene.
So basically they head to Highburn, and then they're running around looking for the fucking cauldron, and Feyre can like feel it. She's like sniffing it out, and Asriel's just running around with a little ash fucking knife, and he's just stabbing people. He's just stabbing the bitches left and right.
He looks hot while doing it.
I'm sure he does. If you can see his face, I feel like they're wearing masks or something. Who knows? But he's running around, he's stabbing bitches left and right, and Cassian's stabbing bitches left and right, and Moore has orders to get Feyre the fuck out of there if something goes wrong, and leave the other bitches, which is totally odd. But anyway, Rhys can't be there until like when they get to the cauldron, because they will know his scent, so they'll know when he shows up, and it'll like give everything away. So they're running around. They're going cray-cray. And then suddenly, they find the cauldron. The book is asking to be put together, and Moore rushes to stop Feyre from putting the book together, because Amryn said not to. And then Asriel's like, no, wait, let her cook. Let her cook. And then she, like, passes the fuck out, because the books are like, put us together, child. Let us become one.
We were made.
We were made to be one. And she does, and it sends like a ripple of power into the world or something. And then she passes the fuck out. Asriel shakes her awake and is like, bitch, get the fuck up. Someone is here. And guess who walks the fucking jury in? He walks on in, and Rhys shows up.
You know that wasn't even shocking.
He's an old man.
He's not an old man.
You know that wasn't even shocking to me. As in, like, I wasn't like, when he came in, I was
like, oh, there he is.
I was like, oh, hey.
That was quick.
It took me like a few paragraphs into the conversation to realize that he wasn't there previously, and that this is a surprise reveal. And I was like, oh,
I said back to them.
They've been talking about Jurian like the entire book.
Yeah, so I keep thinking, I'm like, oh, he's been around, and then I forgot that he wasn't around, so he just walked in, and they were like, hey, guys, and I was like, oh, hey, good to see you, dude, and then I was like, oh, wait, you were dead!
Literally.
Anyways.
So Jurian's like walking around being all sassy, and Reese also shows up, and then Jurian calls him a whore. He's like, I had to be there and watch every time you fucked Amarantha, and Reese is like, did you like the show? The fuck? Like, I'm sure you would.
God. I didn't even think about that. Like,
you haven't?
Reese is giving Amarantha the ride of her life, and Jurian's there like, I want to close my eyes so bad.
Literally.
Poor Reese.
Reese is like using his magic too, and like, so it's like loud, it is good. And then Jurian's just like, oh my god, my eternal existence.
This is more worse than anything Amarantha's made me watch.
But like, you learn that that's literally what drove him crazy. Is he got driven crazy by Amarantha and like probably like race in general, just all of that. Mm-hmm. He's like, and he's like, "Where's Miriam?" And Moore's like,
they folded so fast. I'm
literally so fast.
So we're like, she's dead. No, she's not. You're lying. Yeah, you're right. I lied.
She's safe from you on an island that no one knows about.
Remember,
with her husband in the secret race.
Her power is truth. She had to tell the truth.
She had to tell the truth. She spoke her truth. And
you didn't understand. Miriam. I was actually so angry. I was like, girl, stick to it. She's like, you're right. She's on an island that you'll never find. And I was like,
I feel like the inner circle is the worst possible people to tell your secrets to. Like, they're the first group of people to talk about Valeris, and then got Valeris attacked, and then literally at every chance possible they'll talk about Miriam and Draco.
Literally.
People who are supposed to be dead.
Why are you talking about it? Just pretend they're dead. You've been doing it fine. And all of a sudden, Jurian's like, I know you're lying, you little wench. And she goes, okay, I actually was lying.
Right.
You got me.
You were right.
Uh-oh.
Girl, you could have faked that shit.
He cray. Literally, he is insane.
No, he is really insane.
And their magic has been dampened by a spell that King of Hyrule put on there because Jurian was a distraction. Sleight of hand, you can't see me, John Cena. The magic is dampened, and Azriel gets shot right in the chest. A bolt of
when
fucking
I
ass.
tell you that I screamed.
She also screamed.
I was like, wow. That I did not like that.
Literally, I forgot everything that happened in the scene, so I kept going, oh, he said what?
I was like, what?
See, I saw a few things coming, but Azriel getting shot was not one of those things.
It was very random. It was kind of just like, oh.
He was like assessing the threats. You.
Which, fair enough. That's a good threat to take down, but like,
he went, you've been trying to break into my court for months now. You're bothering me. Gone.
And he looked good while doing it.
I'm sure he did.
Bleeding out on the floor. You know what? That's my favorite way to see men.
Really?
I like Farrah being like, I need to get my blood to him. And I was like, bitch.
Oh no! What was with Farrah's? I wasn't paying attention to that chapter where she saved Reese. What's up with her blood?
She has like the blood of like
the High Lords,
of like a High Lord in particular.
Oh,
was it Dawn or Day?
I don't fucking know.
It's one of those two, and she has this blood that, like, I guess, like,
heals.
Oh.
But it's only because of that High Lord.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
which is fine.
Very convenient.
Thesian, I think is the guy's name.
I think that's Dawn.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I didn't mention last time, but I was like, awfully convenient. I mean, at that time, I was kind of like, okay, well, whatever, like, it makes sense. Like, she does have all the power of the Seven Lords. It's been pre-established. It's not really convenient. But it's convenient that we only just now brought up that they can cure diseases that can kill people.
Crazy.
But anyways.
And then, drama shock of a lifetime, Lucian and Tamlin appear, and our lovely narrator goes, burn them! Burn them!
That was so random because I thought it was someone in the book saying that, and I realized it was just our narrator, and I was like, oh yeah, burn them! I agree.
Bitch, I want to let you guys know that I was on my laptop, and I was like, and Lucian and Tamlin shut up, and I was like,
is that when you started screaming like a motherfucker?
Yes! Because I was like, you motherfucking bitches! And then it kept getting worse, because then they showed up, and then something else happened, just one thing after the other, and then Lucian said some dumb shit, and so then I was like, what the fuck?
And let me tell you, the last 100 pages of every Sarah J. Maas novel,
We'll
Torture.
get you fucked.
torture.
This is what I'm saying. Where was this energy for the rest of the book?
It's what she does.
She does 5 on, 5 off, 5 on, 5 off. These last 15 chapters on the entire
She
time.
spends the entire book like extensively building up and leaving like little clues that'll lead you to the last little itty bit of the book.
And when you get to the long books, like the long books,
books.
like Crescent City, you kind of want to die.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I don't vibe with them.
Me neither, but I started in high school, so I got to see it through.
I won't.
The first
You
one,
should not.
fantastic.
Read it as a standalone.
I cried so hard in that book.
That is the only book, one of the only books I've ever sobbed.
Literally,
to.
I don't know how she did it too, because I wasn't like mega connected to the characters either. But I'm literally sitting there, and I'm like, I don't know, probably like 16, sitting in my bed. And
I would think about it a few days later and start crying
again.
See, that's the thing, because I was like, okay, she did this in Akatar, but Akatar, the last 15 chapters weren't as good as these last 15 chapters.
Yeah.
Objectively, this book is like very much better than the first.
Yeah.
But like, I was like, the last 15 chapters are so good, like genuinely, like it brought the rating that I was gonna give it on Goodreads by a whole like 0.5. Like that's how good the last 15 chapters were, with a few exceptions. But like the rest of the book is like, it builds to it, but it doesn't like have the same sorts of urgency that the last 15 chapters do have. It's really weird. I enjoyed it. Last 15 chapters.
It's crazy. Every time she does this to me, I'm like, why? We figured out that Lucian and Tamlin made a bargain for her.
Dormammu. I have come to bargain.
Literally.
Idiots too, like idiots.
The
like,
bargain
genuinely.
is that Hybern can still use their land and set up a base and have a stronghold in the Spring Court, because it's on the border of obviously all the Prithian courts, but it's also on the border of the wall, so they can take down the wall while they're in there in exchange for Feyre. And then they get to use Feyre however they see fit, because, you know, why would Tamlin bargain for her free will? I don't know. So then, sorry. The rest of the bargain is to break the bond. Tamlin figures out their mates, and he goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. He goes, what did you do to her?
Release her.
Release her.
This was actually so fucking funny, because I was like, the entire time I was like, what do you think you're gonna do? I was like, they're mated.
Break the bond, I guess.
What do you think you can do? I mean, he's an idiot, so.
King of Hybern told him he could do it. He was like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever you say, buddy. And then Feyre struggles to break the spell on her power, and the four queens, I wrote 4 really weird. The 4 queens show up with her sisters.
I actually wanted to commit murder. I wanted to so many times these last 15 chapters. But Tamlin and Lucian standing by were like being like part of the complicit in the reason why Nesta and Elaine were dragged against their will in their sleeping gowns to Prithian. Oh, I wanted to beat their asses.
Lucian, darling, why'd you do that? I'm on your side, brother. Why the fuck you do that?
No, see, I like him, but then I don't like
I'm
Tamlin.
mad at him.
I'm mad at him. Like, I'm like, you bitch. I don't like you right now.
Like, how dare. But, anyway. Tamlin's also just a bitch in general.
Yeah, no, I hate Tamlin. That never goes away.
I think I might get better with, is that for me?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. With the times.
Tamlin or Lucian?
Tamlin. I'm thinking it's gonna get better with the times, but, you know, who knows?
Well,
I'm not Sarah J. Maas, so I don't fucking know. But, I'm still not over Miriam and Jurian. Jurian's such a weird fucking character, because I still think he's old. I know logically, I know he was struck down in like a prime age, like probably like 20s. He's an old man. In my head, that man is like dirt. He's on his way to hospice.
Honestly, I kind of imagine him just like a random
man.
like boy, almost like
A boy? That's so funny.
See, I pictured
like
him
he's like 19 or something.
I pictured him as 38.
Oh, all right.
Like adult.
I have an old,
Adult
decrepit
fucking-
man in my brain.
The very.
It's just that Jurian doesn't sound like a young kid.
He's also, it's just, the whole thing with
The way
me
he talks too.
is that when I read this, he had been in an eyeball for like, I don't know, centuries. So I was like, oh, when he comes back, obviously he's going to look the age of the eyeball. So he's old.
No.
And that's where I got to. In my 14-year-old brain, that made sense. And so that's where I've been standing for the last How old am I? 6 years?
21.
7 years? Oh shit, I'm old. That's been a minute. Anyway, so he's been old for 7 years in my brain, so I'm not gonna change it now.
Okay.
So he's still on his way to hospice, geriatric, if you will.
And then.
Oh, that's it. I did the summary. I'm just going backwards.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, I'm walking around the Christmas tree.
Oh.
Mhm.
Woohoo! I forgot that 5 chapters is relatively short.
Yeah, they just Ezreal getting shot. You guys already talked about how much you hated that.
Yeah, my poor
But-
baby. He doesn't deserve that.
All right. Well,
Oh.
we have.
That was just the summary.
Oh, that was the summer.
Yes.
We just keep like barging in.
Oh, I thought we already talked about it.
No.
No, that was just the summary. People just don't like to let me talk. No. But now I'm like off because I don't know what to talk about because you keep interrupting my brain.
My bad.
This the spell dampening her power too. I don't know. That was random. I was like, because it dampened Reese's power, and I was like, how strong is this man? Like the King of Hybern? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's very random because they're always
It's like incredibly random.
Reese is the most powerful High Lord ever, and then all of a sudden he's getting shot. He's getting all this stuff.
See-
He's getting his power stolen.
There's
He's
like
getting fucking whatever the dampening power is with
Right?
the King of Hybern.
there's inconsistency in the ways the magic sometimes is. Like I know that Reese and Fair are the most powerful people. Know that. But then the problem with making two like top dog, more powerful people is that when you create a villain, you need to create a villain that's somehow stronger than both of them combined.
She does this in every book.
And
She overpowers her villains like mega bad.
and then you overpower your villains, but you don't give like an explanation for it.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the explanation is there, but it's like flimsy. It's like,
Yeah, she really likes to make her villains like majorly overpowered.
And Crescent City is like the worst.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad in Throne of Glass.
Mhm.
I think
It's pretty. It's
well, like what
pretty
she,
well.
what she
Yeah.
just needs to do is like lower the power of the heroes, and then
Yeah.
the power of the villains is like a normal amount. But
that's no fun.
Mhm.
Who wants to have a less powerful hero when you could have the most powerful High Lord in history? That's lit. But she won't do that. But she does this in every book where she like has wicked powerful villains for no reason.
yeah,
Azrael gets shot, and Lucian and Tamlin appear, and they make the bargain is such a stupid. We know how bargains work in this book. Why are you making more bargains? What are we doing? And why didn't you get a cool ass tattoo out of it?
it was really confusing to me too. The bargain, I was like, that's a crazy. Like, look. Wait, someone's getting towed.
Love that for them.
So I like they do this thing sometimes where he's kind of doing what Jurian did.
Who?
Like Tamlin going
Mm.
insane, like going like fucking insane.
Oh, he's nuts.
I was like, if we're gonna do history, book on the shelf is always repeating itself. It's literally
He's going nuts though. Cuckoo
like
for Cocoa
Tamlin
Puffs.
is like Jurian.
But I'm thinking he'll turn it around. I'm thinking it's like it could be like this, but we're gonna change it type of thing, you know?
I don't care if he ends up being a stand-up guy at the end of all of this. I'm gonna actually hate him for the rest of my life.
You gonna think about this when you're 80 and like on
Yeah.
your deathbed,
On
you're
my
gonna be like,
deathbed.
I fucking hate that Tamlin dude.
That Tamlin dude, fucking hate him.
He was awful.
In fact, I might avoid the T names for the rest of my
I
life.
wonder,
That's how bad it is.
I wonder if Sarah's gonna pull a Tower of Dawn.
Oh my god. But like he wasn't a villain.
Tamlin?
No, the character
So-
she's
yeah.
talking about. He wasn't a villain.
That's right.
He was
He's
just
just
kind of
annoying.
annoying. And that's just because everyone else got cool superpowers and he was left to rot.
Let it be known that I felt really bad for Nesta and Anna. Can you imagine all they've had to go through this past year and they're traumatized?
They didn't even want to let them use their house.
And like they're
Literally.
being dragged into this in their nightgown. Do you know how like scary that is? Like you're like so
Bound and gagged.
like you're so exposed, especially because the nightgowns that usually in fantasy are like extremely flimsy and practically see through, and the fact that they were dragged out of their home, which they didn't even want to offer up. They only did it because out of obligation to Farah. Their whole like sliver of land was about to be like completely demolished by this king because the queens did not give a fuck. And then here they are, just pawns. Not even pawns. They're just test subjects. It enrages me.
Yeah. It's just whenever Sarah, like, these last couple of chapters, I'm just like, she always has her, like, big reveal at the end. So, like, Tamlin and Lucian show up, and then her sisters show up, and then you're like, oh my god, who's gonna show up next? And I don't think anyone else, that's, like, the next set of chapters, is, like, the next stuff that goes down. But, like, every time she does that, I'm like, oh my god, they're showing, it's like a reunion, a family reunion.
I was glad that it was. I did figure that they were gonna like use a weakness of Farah. I just didn't know what they were gonna use.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I really am so confused about the dad. I know that I don't know if it's just Sarah J. Maas like reminding the audience. By the way, the dad's not here, so he's not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Or if it's the dad is away. Remember that. And then like I don't know which one it is because it's like because it could be either one. Like it could just be Sarah J. Maas being like, "Hey, remember that the dad's gone, so he's not a problem. Don't worry about him." Or if it's the dad's gone and he's dealing with business.
Ooh,
Perhaps you should worry. I don't know which one it is.
I think it's funny because it's like no one gives a fuck about the dad.
Literally, Papa
Like,
Archeron literally missing
No
in
one
action.
cares. Like Nesta and Elaine are like, whatever.
I don't know.
He comes back. He comes
Farah
back.
like mentions it once where she's like, I should probably like get on that, like figure out what my dad's doing
Mm-hmm.
because he's far away. And I was like, you really should, but like
You might want to.
But is that important right now? Like the world's about to end.
Also, her dad has no idea what's going on. Like, doesn't
None.
even know she's high fae. Doesn't know she like got married or got engaged. Then went to another man. Now is a mate. Then is knows nothing.
You're so bad at this.
Tamlin.
You're gonna have to bleep that out.
Yeah, I'll bleep it out. I'm gonna edit it. Don't worry.
Like, you're incredibly bad at this. You've done this twice now. Anyway.
Over in the last chapters.
And then Tamlin, Tamlin claiming her Farah as his.
Oh, die.
A surprise Pikachu face. Excuse me? I'm like, I'm so sorry.
He goes, we're going home. The fuck you're doing? What now?
It's just him going, she's mine. What the fuck did you do to my girlfriend? I was like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about?
Girl, you didn't even go into the woods to look for her yourself. And you're like,
No, for
what
real.
the fuck did you do to
He
my
sent
girlfriend?
Lucian, his lapdog.
Literally, his little simp.
Anyway, that pretty much wraps it up.
Yeah.
The sisters show up.
And then we're going to move on to chapters 65 to 69, the end of the book for next week.
See you guys
Love
next
you
week.
guys. Don't forget to follow
Bye-bye.
for more.
Bye.